Welcome to Book Date with You, the platform where we recommend the best book to you. Today we are in episode 102, 102. And
Yes,
today we are continuing to talk about the part two of this book by Brené Brown, Atlas of the Heart.
yes. Last episode, we already shared this book. Awesome one. Today is part two. So before we dive into the book, let us, you know, recall a little bit. Over here, we are 102 episodes, and we are so excited to share all this with you. This is the platform that the best book recommend to you. And Gideon, do you still remember that why we do what we do over here?
We want to inspire people to read or
Yes.
inspire themselves. Yeah.
Not just about us, it is also we want to really bring the book to the community, to you are who are listening right now. And if you find the episodes is really benefit to you, subscribe to our channel, right? And also share with your friends. Share the link above or the below link to your friend and those that love to read book and inspire and recommend to them. So now let's go to this episodes right away. Now, let me share the screen for you. We come to share about this part is last episodes we share from the chapter number 1 to number 6, and today we are going to share about places we go with others. And I will pass to Gideon.
Yeah. So this chapter 7, is talking about all these different emotion that we can experience. And what particularly I want to talk about this emotion, which is pity. And I hope all of us don't use or practice this pity. Rather than we want you to practice compassion. Well, why I say so, pity actually, if you compare to compassion, pity actually sees the sufferer as different from our own self. And according to the book, is actually pity have four elements: a belief that suffering person is inferior, is lesser than you. Second thing, pity is a passive, self-focused reaction that does not include providing help. And the third thing, pity is a desire to maintain emotional distance. And last one, pity avoid sharing others people's suffering. So hopefully, I explain why we should avoid pity. Yeah.
Yep. It's very important to know what it means first before we
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
Now, I would love to bring out to you the one the one emotion that I need the most this year, definitely. It is about boundaries. So, boundaries, why I talk about this is because my one of the very important value in my life is compassion. So, boundaries are the prerequisite for compassion and empathy, according to the book by Brené Brown. We can't connect with someone unless we are clear about where we end and they begin. So there's one sentence in the book that I quote from Prentice Hamfield. Its boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. Such a great sentence for us to understand what it means by boundaries. Boundaries is a distance, look at that. Distance at which I can love you and me, myself at the same time. Because sometimes we need to have that healthy boundaries between your personal and your professional life. It's just like when you are surrounding with those people around you, you need to be clear what is okay and what is not okay. You need to be clear. And there's one sentence I quote from the book. Clear is kind, unclear is unkind. After I read this sentence, I'm not sure, Gideon, after you read that, do you have this sentence keep rolling in your brain, talking about your mind? Is that clear is kind, unclear is unkind. I don't know why. It's like even when I drive, this sentence it just pop out from my brain, my mind, thinking about, yes, I need to let people know what is okay and what is not okay. Give her example from the book. When we explain what is okay? It's that it is okay to change your mind, but it's not okay to assume that I'm okay with the changes without talking to me. You are actually explaining upfront what is okay. You move the focus to where it belongs. You get what I mean? It's like you move the focus to where it belongs. So you express your feelings and thinking. It is very important. So, another example from the book. It's okay to disagree with me, but it's not okay to ridicule my ideas and beliefs. So that is in a part of what is okay and what is not okay. So I hope that I make the boundaries definition quite clear for you. Yep. So let's go for another part of that. It's about places that we go when we fall short. There is multiple here from the shame, self-compassion, perfectionism, guilt, humiliation, and embarrassment. So we love to share with you is about shame. A lot of time, like we feel shame. You know, shame is the part where we live. We need to know is when we want to connect with others, connection is expressed in a way of love and belonging. Shame is the one that fear the disconnection. So in shame, actually we can express in a way that it's an intensely painful feeling or the experience of believing that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love, belonging, and connection. Shame, it needs you to believe that you actually are alone. Remember that. Shame needs you to believe that you are alone. So you want to find the antidote for you to overcome the shame emotion. How to do that? From this book, Brené Brown shared about this one. It's through the self-compassion. Self-compassion is the first step for healing shame. We need to be kind to ourselves before we can share our story with someone else. So self-compassion helps us to move through the shame. So this is one part very, very important for that. So, okay, so now we move to the next one. Gideon?
I just want to briefly talk about humiliations and also embarrassment. Humiliation actually is the intense, painful feeling that we have been unjustly degraded, ridiculed, or put down, and that our identity has been demeaned or devalued. So I think from the definition, you can see that this is quite intense and serious. And humiliation, I would say is the cause for many um, social unrest or even political unrest currently, because a lot of people that have different identity from us, sometimes they feel humiliated because of certain things that we unintentionally do or intentionally do, and they feel humiliated. And
Mm,
humiliate is one of the emotion that will bring to other actions that is more serious, like violence or just secluded or don't want to talk or just protect our own self. So we have to be careful about this, so that we don't um, purposely humiliate other person without knowing, because humiliation is a feeling that we have been degraded. So and a lesser degree is embarrassment, which we have a just a fleeting feeling of discomfort. So in response to a minor incident, that was witnessed by others. So the important is that what witnessed by others. So they must be someone, and then you will feel embarrassed. So a lesser degree is embarrassment, but in an intense more, we feel humiliated. Yeah. Yeah. So we go to
yes,
next chapter.
yes.
Next chapter is about places we go when we search for connections, and there are many emotion here, like belonging, fitting in, connection, disconnection, insecurity, invisibility, and loneliness. And I want to talk about belonging, um, particularly about true belonging, because true belonging for me is it's like a spiritual place or a practice of believing that you belong, you and belonging to yourself. So you believe that you can share your most authentic self with the world, and you can you are part of something, and it, it require and but to be feel true belonging, you have to be vulnerable. I think we talk about vulnerable in part one. You need to be comfortable to get uncomfortable and learn how to be present with people without sacrificing who we are. So I think you can see that it's not easy to feel the true belonging. And if you have, it's good. If you don't have yet, try to find a place where you can feel that true belonging, so that you can express your authentic self. And it's quite important, for every one of us to express our own authentic self, and to be able to do that. Yeah.
Well, we have this sharing about belonging. Definitely, a lot of time, we have to make sure that we don't fall into the place that fitting in.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of belonging is actually fitting in. So sometimes that we are in the place that we are trying so hard to fit in, right? We need to find a place that is belong, not fitting in. So now let's go to the connection and disconnection. So this part, right, when we talk about connection, it's so important we know the opposite of it, disconnection. And first of all, when we say we want to connect with each other, what you means by connection, right? Connection is the energy that exists between the people when you feel seen, heard, and valued, and when they can give and receive without judgment, when they derive substance and strength from the relationship. So that it means by connection. So when you have the disconnection with people, you feel hurt. It's like it's just like more than your feelings. Even sometimes it can cause physical pain of that. All right. And one is the connection requirement, it's actually the authenticity. Authenticity is the requirement for you to feel connect with each other. This is a point that I really highlight one. I want to highlight to you because you will definitely, want to feel the connection with those of people around you and be genuine and authentic. It is the first ever step to feel the connection. So let's go to the next one. It's about places that we go when the heart is open. Yes, you have a lot from the love, lovelessness, heartbreak, trust, self-trust, betrayal, defensiveness, flirting, and hurt. So I would love to bring to you is trust. Every one of us want to develop a trusting relationship with each other. And what do you mean by trust? You know, I love this definition is by Charles Feldman from the book. It is what is important to me is not safe with this person in this situation. If you don't trust this person, means that what is important to me right now is not safe to this person in this division. Yes, that is means that you don't trust this person because trust is more than one of the cognitive assessment than an emotion. You know, trust it brings up a lot of emotion in yourself, especially hurt and defensiveness. So what actually can help you to build the trust? Brené Brown shared in this book, it is like there is about six very important key from the boundaries, reliability, accountability, vote, non-judgment, and generosity. I can't go to each of it, but I want to give you the general idea is when you want to build the trusting relationship with each other, please include these 6 points: boundaries, reliability, accountability, vault, and judgment and generosity. So you can always go back to the book, whether it's audio or the physical book, go and delve into more definition and also example from the book. Wonderful one. So let's go to the next one.
Yeah, I want to talk very, very briefly about hurt, but it's very profounding. This word hurt. And in the book, he actually say, I'm not sure there is a braver sentence in human catalog of brave sentences than my feelings are hurt. My feelings are hurt. And and why I think Brittany say this is I think we, at least me, I seldom heard people say this, my feelings are hurt, before they explode. A lot of people, they just explode, become anger and just frustrated first before they say these
Yes.
sentences. So think about that. If you say this word first, my feelings are hurt, before you rant or become angry, it will help the situation a lot. But I also understand that if you want to say this sentence, you need a lot of vulnerability. It's like you're exposed to the other person that is listening, that you are hurt, that you're actually weak. I mean, you can say weak, right? Because you are hurt, right? And it's a raw thing, right? You're exposing a raw thing to the other person. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They just want to show that they are man or their ego, and they want to just angry first. And they never say this thing. But actually, the all the angry things that coming out is actually because of this. The person's feelings are hurt. So why not try, maybe try today, say this word first before you say your angry words, right? Tell the other person, my feelings are hurt because
Yep.
da da da. Yeah.
Sometimes when we are having the conversation, especially the critical, conversation with those people, express our feeling is even more important than the solution.
Yeah.
Because that is really open up the crucial conversation for the next step of the conversation to really opens up for more solution. That's the
Yeah.
part of that. So good way to go. So let's go to the next part of this is places we go when life is good. Joy, happiness, calm, contentment, gratitude, foreboding joy, relief, and tranquility. So the first one I want to come back to you is calm. What it means by calm. I know that this is a common words that we always use, but the thing is, like, I think to cultivate calmness, it's one of the key thing that I want to do in 2024. That is one of my, New Year resolution. In all the chaotic world right now, or uncertainty, having the calmness to the situation, it's so much important. And what is calm? Brené Brown defined calm as creating perspective and mindfulness while managing emotional reactivity. So, when you want to cultivate the calmness in yourself, she mentioned that self questioning is very important. So, calm is an intention. You have the intention to cultivate the calm. So you ask this question, do we do we want to infect people with more anxiety or heal ourselves and people around us with calm? Second, do we match the pace of anxiety or do we slow things down with breath and tone? Number third, do we have all the information we need to make a decision or form a response? What do we need to ask or learn? To have all this self-questioning comes actually can help us to really think through and cultivate, practice. I want to say is that the way to cultivate is through practice. There is no way for you to go without practice. You can't just, born in the world and, I'm calm. No way. You're going to practice each and every single day, and that's how you get the calmness inside you. So let's go to the next one.
Um, I want to talk about gratitude. And I know, in our episode, many episodes, we talk about gratitude a lot. According to the book, I want to give a definition of the book about gratitude. Gratitude is an emotion that reflects our deep appreciations for what we value, what brings meaning to our life, and what makes us feel connected to ourselves and others. So remember the day you pray for the things you have now. But what I want to give a new perception about gratitude, maybe just for this episode is how do we? I mean, maybe we tell people more often than not to feel gratitude, like. But for me, like how to feel gratitude is, I mean, I don't like to compare. Compare is not a good thing, but i- in order to feel gratitude, we have to look at other people's situation or suffering. I don't like to look at other people suffering, right? I would rather take action. But to feel gratitude, we have to look at other people suffering around us, and this will naturally, build up your gratitude. Just for example, if you look at surrounding people who don't have water supply, it will, very naturally you will feel every time you take a bath, you will feel that very gratitude. You have the water now. And so I would just, a little suggestion is look around you, look around people who have this situation out, or you can call it suffering, and you will feel gratitude.
Yeah. Lovely, like you actually bringing up the water uh topic, because a lot of people take water as granted.
Yes.
They just take it for granted. And as of now, when we are doing this session, there is a lot of times of water disruption in my area. As right now, I have no water to use. So it has been a very big challenge along the journey for almost like a month. So
Yeah.
practice gratitude is another way to go, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to next. We'll be talking about
Ooh.
yes.
So the next chapter is about places we go when we feel wrong, and you see all these angry word: anger, contempt, disgust, dehumanization, hate, self-righteousness. And I just want to talk about anger, angry, and I want to read about anger according to the book, and it's very contrasting. To bear with me. Anger is a catalyst. Holding on to it will make us exhausted and sick. Internalizing anger will take away our joy and spirit. Externalizing anger will make us less effective in our attempts to create change and forge connections. So you see, according even to Brittany, right, anger is, if you hold it, like you don't express it, it will make you sick. But if you express it, you will be less effective in your connection with others. So it's actually a conflicting thing, but we have to understand that I mean, even to Brittany, like she even don't know whether anger is a primary emotion or not. So when we say primary, is it the most initial emotion or not? Because anger may be a secondary emotion, meaning that anger may come out from other things. It's not a primary thing. Why I want to say this primary secondary thing is, instead of just talking about whether we should hide it or express it, I think a better way of handling anger is try to transform the anger to other things. So example, if you feel anger to social injustice, like there are things happening in the society that you are feeling very angry, like there are people being bullied or being humiliated in society. Instead of feeling anger, I mean, you can feel angry, but try to quickly transform it to actions, like taking step to to heal the injustice, take action to help the people, or to express things that we can do instead of feeling anger all the time. The other thing is like if you are feeling anger because of someone didn't do something, maybe you can transform this to love first and taking action from love, like telling that person, this is the thing that we expect you to do. So I think transformation in anger is more effective in handling anger. That's why I think there's a lot of like anger management or these courses outside, because they try to transform anger to other things rather than keeping anger itself. Yeah.
Finding the right way to transform or
Yeah.
switch the anger rather than doing something that can be disruptive,
Yeah, destructive or
or create another disaster.
yes.
That we need to be very careful for handling that. Okay, so now let me go to the one that very tongue twister for me, self-righteousness. All right. So what it means by self-righteousness is this. It's a belief that, it's a conviction that one's beliefs and behaviors are the most correct. So you need to differentiate between righteousness and self-righteousness. Righteousness is we are appropriately reacting to the true injustice. We are trying to do the right thing. When you are having the self in front, okay, self-righteousness, that we feel like morally superior to others, and we're trying to convince ourselves or others that we are doing the right thing. So there's two different things. All right. So sometimes, a lot of time is people that have self-righteousness, they actually think that that's black and white. So they tend to be very close-minded, inflexible, intolerant of ambiguity, and less likely to consider others' opinion. So that is the thing that we need to sometimes, be aware, catch ourselves. If we have this emotion, then we need to know that, okay, how to change it, how to be a better one. Okay, so now we'll go to the last part of the book. It's called Places We Go to Self-Access. We have pride, hubris, and humility. And we love to end this session with something more positive. That is humility. Okay, so humility really comes from the word humilitas, which is a Latin word. So meaning groundedness. We ground ourselves, groundedness. So I particularly love a sentence from the book is a quote from the book is, "I'm here to get it right, not to be right. I'm here to get it right, not to be right." It really forms you the idea of you are you are practicing the humility. So I want to hear from Gideon. What is the point of your thought about humility from the book?
Um, I actually have my own like interpretation or understanding of
Yeah.
the humility, and I think that there are many aspects of humility. And particularly, I'm talking about humility to nature,
Mm,
and a lot of time we 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 think that maybe human are too great, and we suddenly we sometimes ignore about the nature power, and we
yeah.
need to be come back and think about that, and humility to the nature, and to respect the nature, how it grows, and the other thing is about humility to our human imperfections, um, so that we are humble enough um, to learn again, to admit that we need to learn, or sometimes to admit that we are wrong,
Yeah.
and to relearn again. So humility is always one of the things that I practice, and I think right. I mean, the more you learn, the more you become more humble. So that's why there's a lot of great people outside. When you see, they are very humble because they know that they need to practice humility.
Yes. We are student of life, every one of us. And it just I would love to highlight another part is a lot of people confused about humility and downplaying themselves. You know, I can see that people that is saying that, I want to practice humility, and then they downplay themselves in the sense of uh downplay their own achievement and accomplishments, and they have this low self-esteem. You just need to be aware of this. You know, practice humility does not mean that you downplay yourself or your achievement or accomplishments, and at the same time, you are not going to have the low self-esteem. You're actually practicing the humility that saying that I'm here to learn something, I'm open for new learning and also some contributions, all this, rather than you close yourself minded, not learning new things. All right. So this is definitely the key for cultivate a meaningful relationship with other people and you yourself. So, and that close our session for today. I know that today is a long, long session for you, and thanks again for staying together with us until the last, super last part. And share with us any aha moment, any, all these emotions that you particularly love to start practice and take action to practice in your own life. Share with us in the comment section below and see you in the next episode.